Ahoy there, ladies. According to this here map, we're nearing the shores of the seven seas. Lands filled with opportunity. Need to fix that craving for conquering. We've got all the continents and more. Prices so cheap you'll think you're plundering away. So come visit the clan at Openfront IO and play for a very long time.
Hey everyone, this is Patrick again. I know I've made a lot of videos about maps I have made or maps I've played, but I've not really talked about too much of like the maps I've actually made or the map making process, so I'm going to try to get into that a bit more today. So today I'm going to start with one I just got released with V32. Let me go to all, new, or be under world as well, world inverted, and I'm going to go down. I'm going to choose impossible. I'm going to disable tribes because I don't want the random tribes, I just want the default nations. And I'm going to multiply the gold just so things go a certain way. Okay. Now I'm gonna spawn dead center, but it really doesn't matter where I really spawn, because I am not playing today. We'll expand the nations. We'll fast forward it just a little bit, and okay. So, here's the game. Thank you for joining me to take a look at it. I appreciate it. So this is World Inverted for Openfront IO, released 2026 with version 32. My name is Patrick Badley. I created Dyslexia. Please excuse me that I got my words backwards right now. It's right before midnight. I don't know why I'm recording this so late at night, but this is when I have the time. I got handed this project. I've gone through the maps area on the Openfront IO Discord, and a inverted world map or similar has come up again and again. And right when I had some time, it came up once more, so I opted to take on the project. And I regretted it immediately, because the first problem is what do you make the nations? You can make them things like the oceans, right? Atlantic, and then you have Pacific. Why is Atlantic over here? Oh, Atlantis. Oh my goodness. Yes, it's close to midnight. Yep, it's definitely close to midnight. As I was saying, Atlantic. I should know where it is. I made the map. And this should be... is this Pacific? Oh no, that's unclaimed territory. Where is Pacific? Oh, right here in the center. Golly, I'm doing a really bad job at this right now, guys. Please excuse me. I might leave this in, might cut it out. I think I'll leave it in. That's not supposed to be there. I'll have to take that out. There's not supposed to be two Wendells. Anyway, when I originally created this, I decided I wanted to make a map with things with the bottom of the ocean, right? That's what people wanted. And for the nations, I decided maybe sunken ships or the names of geological features. And the geological features had a decent spread under the ocean, especially when you started counting in fracture points. But the sunken ships, there's a huge grouping of them over here in the Atlantic Ocean, as well as certain parts around the Pacific Rim. Oh, as well as any island nations like the Philippines, of course, Great Britain. You know, there's so many UK flagged ships at the bottom of the ocean everywhere. And they're all along the coastline in certain areas, actually. So that's not fun if you just have all the nations in one area. So my challenge was not only getting all the nations, but getting coverage over this whole area. And even now, so I paused the game, and you can see the Atlantic is full, the Indian area is full, but over here in the Pacific, it's still kind of thin. And that's not just because these are the quote-unquote highlands of the game. Same thing with the Arctic. There's just not that many features for me to put in these areas. That's part of my problem. But I think I've done pretty well to kind of balance this out a bit more and give it novelty while keeping a good theme about it, which is really difficult when it's something so abstract as this, which is why I think somebody suggested this project to me. They saw, hey, you did Dyslextria, maybe you might like doing this. Yeah, well, I did. I actually enjoy doing this. As you can see, each one of the nation, here's the other problem. For each one of these, I basically use Wikipedia. I checked each one, but basically used Wikipedia, got a list of sunken ships, the greatest disasters of multiple parts of history, and then I looked up each vessel one at a time, and there's like over 200. And I got the flag for the port of registry and coded that into the game manually. There wasn't like an Excel document that I just went down one by one. I had to do each one of these. So if you think this was like a really quick process, it absolutely was not. Oh, not to mention, where did the RMS Titanic sink? Did you know? Did you know it was approximately here in the Atlantic Ocean, or did you just think it was somewhere, well, I don't know, it's just Atlantic somewhere between England and the USA, but I'm not exactly sure. Well, now you know. It's somewhere in this general area, as well as the US Scorpion was somewhere in the center, and the Pamir, I think, was somewhere over here. Not every single one of these is absolutely correct, but I've done my best to make them, generally speaking, as accurate as possible for a game, which is saying a lot for this. Let's see what else I can cover in here. Oh, shout out to Flo Penguin. Penguin, that's at least the name on Discord. They contribute a lot to OpenFront, and they modified the game upon my request. Essentially, the game has two types of nations. They have these nations you see in front of you, which is why I've listed them here. So everything you see here, these are default nations, standard nations, 93. Then, in addition to those 90-odd nations, there are these secondary nations. Previously, the secondary nations were a random list. Recently, it was changed where we can make custom secondary nations. So that's cool. So now I have custom secondary nations that are in theme. And those custom secondary nations don't have to be physically placed. So the default nations do have to be physically placed. Each one has to have a spot, but every time you add more than the default, every time you're playing the game and you put the little slider and you change it to more than the default, those other ones can populate anywhere, essentially. Well, after talking with Flo Penguin, we adjusted it so, he adjusted it so that now the default nations, you can make it so they don't require a physical location. So this is great. So now we can have things like Unsinkable 2. We can have things like Atlantis, which is why I got confused with this. Which is my favorite on here, HMS K5. So if anyone just knows what the HMS K5 is off the top of their head. What other ones do I have on here that are hiding amongst? I think I have one or two more that are quote-unquote, I like to call them floaters. Again, these are default nations. Aha, the Dali. Yeah, the Dali is a floater. And now, every time you play this map, and hopefully others in the future, maybe some older ones will be modified, at least 4 to 6 of these nations are completely randomized. And hopefully that will mix things up a little bit. At least that's the idea. In addition to that, when you add the additional nations into the game, some of them do have default locations, which may or may not be historically accurate in the case of this map. But a lot of them do not, simply because it's not fun at a certain point. I mean, like at a certain point, all of the sunken ships are in this area around the Philippines, and no one's going to want to play that map. So we have to mix it up a little bit. There's a lot of boats that I just completely left out of this game simply because I had 30 other boats with the same registry and flag, so I felt that that nation was already represented. Duck boat. I love the duck boats. There's at least... watched a lot of videos about all the duck boat tragedies in the United States. If you haven't looked into those are very interesting. Anyway, so some other things about the map. Let me minimize this. I will minimize this. You may ask, why the hell did you make it... Oh, I died. Oh god, I died. Why the hell did you make it Pacific centered? Like, you made a world map. Why not just make it the standard west is west and east is east? And when playtesting, because I did some playtesting, I can't remember if I actually kept the recordings, because you're talking about gigabytes and gigabytes of recordings. The Pacific on the left and the Atlantic in... oh my god, my brain hurts so much right now. Pacific on the left and the Atlantic in the middle with the... you know what I'm talking about. This shifted over. It doesn't work right. It's one-sided. It gets misbalanced. If I press the space bar, let me ask you, where's the green land? You can quickly see that this right here is the green land. And I know this is mountainous area, but this is adjacent to the green land. So we can add it in with the green land, right? So this is the center, this is the dominant area. No matter where you put this, this is going to be the power point, right? So my general rule of thumb is, if this is where the power point is, I want this to be in the center of the chaos. So above us we have land, over here we have enough land to attack, over here we have more than enough land to attack. This map is imbalanced, but that's its very nature. It's a natural map. It's Earth. It's inverted, but it's Earth. Even though it's imbalanced, it is sort of balanced. That's the way I look at it. So the way I attempted to balance this, so go with me, is if this center is the main power point, in my early testing, this side on the right was bigger, and the problem I had was the right would just dominate too much and sweep to the left. So by, I'll use the term, neutering the right down a little bit and putting over on the left hand side, while the map has ended in this kind of lopsided look, it's more balanced than what it was. It's I'm sure there's definitely areas of power. There's areas of people are going to frequently... oh, the Flying Dutchman. I totally forgot I added the Flying... wow, the main one. The Flying Dutchman. The floater that goes anywhere. Sorry, what was I saying? Sorry. Why am I recording this so late? Anyway, there are multiple paths to victory on this map, at least in theory. On the right hand side, you can mine away the center's power, and you have your back against the wall. If you're ever designing a map yourself, consider consider the border. Border is an element of power. So the right hand side has this border here, so it doesn't have to worry about enemies coming from the right. It can focus on the left. And what ends up happening is they push this way. And that means the center has to contend with the right. So while the center is contending with the right, hopefully this hopefully this power dynamic is balancing. Meanwhile, the left is slowly sneaking up over here, all the way over here, all the way up over here, and no one's paying attention as they come around. And then you start to realize that the left side actually has quite a large amount of land and could totally dominate the other ends of the board if the other sides are not cooperating or paying attention. And that's just some thoughts about how I've attempted to balance this map. Some other things. So this map is based off of I think NASA, or I don't know. Let's just say NASA, but U.S. government agency based scans of under the water depth map, and essentially all that I've done was invert it. I added a slight gradient, so in truth, the north is shallower and the south is deeper, but that's no fun. That's stupid. And we don't like things that are no fun and stupid. We like things that are fun and not stupid. So in this case, I added a gradient which put more oceans in the north and made it shallower in the south. And then what I did is I used the tectonic fault lines as rivers, and it worked out amazingly. I mean, it's Earth, so I guess that makes sense, but other than a few other minor edits, like let's see here, I think I cut a notch in the bottom of this area here. I made sure there was a clear path through here, but there was already a clear outline almost. I believe I also made sure this area was clear enough, but it was almost already clear. And these cracks in the middle, I did some light editing with them to make sure that they were of the same depth. Oh, and the lakes. These aren't supposed to be there. The same thing with the Great Lakes over here. These aren't supposed to be here either. These were added post. Aside from those edits, this is a fairly natural height map, and honestly, I'm quite proud of that. Really, just really, to being honest, I am quite proud. I didn't want this looking too cartoony. I do have to make some other adjustments, but that's the wonderful thing about OpenFrontIO is the game's essentially still in the 0.32 phase, so it's not even 1.0. Like this. See how this is pure white and how this is pure green? I probably have to go back in and maybe adjust the gradients a bit more to get more out of the spectrum so that there's more brown and other textures. There's a lot of texture in here with the tectonic plates and it's stretching, but I'm losing some of the detail because I didn't spend enough time fine-tuning it. Oh, and while I'm making this video, I just want to say it in a place that's documented. Please, developers, devs, can we get quote-unquote under the oceans? Why can't I have a height map? Why can't the height map just continue under the ocean and then I can see under the ocean? It'd be a really cool effect if I looked at this map and wherever the ocean got deeper, it was darker. Like I could physically see it. Anyway, so this is World Inverted. Some things about it. I think I covered most of my stuff I can with it. Man, this game is going on for a while. I've been talking this whole time, but oh yeah, I had the money factor. I'm wondering why this is a 45-minute bot game. for anyone ever testing a map, and I'll get to stuff like that in the future, because I've had one or two people ask me to break those kinds of things down and how that works. I know I'm going backwards. I'm starting with the simple things and working into the finer details. Whenever you're testing a map, sometimes I bump up the gold value. That way it acts as a stabilizer. It makes the nations last much longer into the deep game. Like, it makes the mid game happen in the early game before all the nations get destroyed. That's the best way I can describe it. Unsinkable 2! You survived! Anyway, that is, I think, what I can say about this map today. I'll probably give some other information about other maps in the future. I think if I have some time, hopefully I've edited in some other things during my talking of this. It's not just me talking while this game is in the background. You can subscribe. I appreciate it. If you want to go to the Discord and see me, there's also another map maker, goes by TriStar or Rick D something or another on the other platforms. There's a few other people. But yeah, leave a comment. Anything you want to do. I don't know how to do these things. I don't know what to do next with this or how to end it. Bye.